Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Ladies Listen Up. What is your relationship with your money? Alrighty, before we get started, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share this information with somebody else. I'm sure there's somebody in your sister girl circle that want to know a little bit more about her money. And you know what? In this case, go and grab some men from the men's circles and say, come on, let's listen to how we can help to diversify our assets and how we can gather more money. Well, all right. So let's get on over to Grandma's cookie jar secret and see what Grandma's cookie jar has in store for us today. All righty. So Grandma's cookie jar of nuggets today says choose adventure always. Hmm. Also, and I don't know, did I say it? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share this information with somebody else. I think I did say it. So y'all don't laugh at me too hard. My head is still a little foggy. Even though I'm getting better, it's still a little bit kind of foggy. But anyhow, let's listen to what Grandma's Cookie Jar Nugget has for us today. The past is practice. I love that. That means that the past is a lesson or a blessing, right? So we understood what the blessing is. Now we learn everything that we can from all of the different lessons, right? And we can put that into practice when we start talking about creating our asset classes, right? It says choose adventure always. I like that too because we can make it fun once you really start to understand how to create these different asset classes, and when you understand that it's all within our grasp, within our reach, and that it's attainable. When you learn all of that, guess what? It becomes fun because then you start categorizing what you're going to do, and how you're going to move this over here, and how do I get this over here, and how do I go, and real estate is one of them. Okay, I've started up some different asset classes. So let me take some of my return on my investment, and let's go on over here and purchase some land or an apartment building, or or a senior citizens facility, or a domestic violence facility. Life is so much bigger than what we sometimes think because we're in the grind of things, right? So let's talk a little bit about the calculator. So I said in one of the podcasts before that I was going to give us an episode on the calculator so we can understand how to utilize it. And once you start getting I want to say addicted to the calculator, but I think I got a little addicted or a fetish or something for this calculator because it started putting it in my mind that what, maybe it's not a good idea to spend, I guess spontaneously spend. We see a purse that we want. I went online looking at some brand designer purses, and I'm not going to mention the brand name, but one of the least expensive that I could find was about $600, and I said, man, that is, $600 for the purse. $795, the least that I could find, or minimum for a pair of red bottoms. I was like, there's nothing wrong with having those things, but have we taken care of our business? Have we put our mind on our money and have our money make a money for us? So when we do decide to splurge, we can do that. With Christmas coming up, I'm going to do an episode specifically about Christmas and Christmas spending. But right now, I'm going to share my screen. I want to pull up the calculator. I want us to really, really, really dive into what it looks like when we spend $600 for a purse. Okay, so if we were to take that same $600 and put it in our calculator and say at 3% weekly, we do have some platforms that offer that. 5 years, an average or projected 3%, 2 to 4%. Maybe I want to say or start saying from 1 to 4, depending on what the market is doing at that time. So I have all my weeklies in here. And so if you look at this is like $2,190.52. So sorry, my head is still a little plugged, but I'm gonna keep pushing. Okay. So you look at this. This is the first year. In the second year, we're at 10,000. Third year, we're at 47,000, and then the fourth year, we're at 220,000, and then we're at over $1 million if we took that money, set it in an account, reinvest it every week. That is huge, right? This is potential return on investment. Let's go back up here. Let's put in 795. We're talking about them red bottoms. 795. Same thing. Average about 3% weekly over 5 years. Calculate that. We're talking about red bottoms, right? That after we wear them a couple times, they're in our closet, sitting on the shelf with a purse or something, right? So we're at First year, we're at 2,900. Second year, we're at 13,498. Third year, we're at, then we're talking about the return on the investment. That's not the accrued investment that's compounding. $62,782. Then we're at fourth year, 291,993. Then at the fifth year, we're over $1 million again for red bottom. So we can keep going on and on and on and on with how we actually, spend our money and really don't think about what we're doing with it. But that's how the calculator works. And we'll continue to go over some examples so that we can really, especially at Christmas time, man, I'm going to get a list of toys and I'm going to show you all. There's nothing wrong with doing those things. But like I said, in my household, I saw, all of the toys around the Christmas tree, and it was a wonderful experience. But you think about what you pay for it in January. So we're going to talk about that. But I just wanted us to, understand some things about value. And speaking of value, I want us, and again, ladies, listen up. I want us to understand that it's so important that we know our value, right? That we know our value and we never stay where we're not valued. That means in friendships, that means in relationships, that means in any situation. If you're and work on ourselves so that we can bring the value and that we can understand that we do have value. That is so, so, so important. Number two, we're just going to go over a list of about 11 things just to help us to remind ourselves of the things that, we can work on. And, again, our goal is to create this diverse portfolio, right? But if we don't have the confidence or the trust in ourselves to know that we can do it, then information is just falling on deaf ear, right? So number two, I want us to think about karma. How do you treat other people? Because I'm a firm believer in karma. I know that it comes right back to us. So whatever you put out there, it's going to come back to you. And karma don't play, right? Number three, cultivate your gifts, your talents. Embrace your uniqueness. We're all unique. God gave us our own specific fingerprints, right? He gave us our own unique fingerprint. So that means that we are special. So cultivate the gifts and the talents that we have. Embrace them, right? Even embrace your differences, right? So, number four, remove emotion and delusion. Okay? I think it's very important for us to sometimes just take a step back and think about the situation before we react. So respond. Responding means we stopped, we thought about it, what's the best course of action, and then we responded to a situation. Number five, where are your investing in money? Where's your investing in your money? Are you again going back to that person to the red bottoms? Are you doing that, or are you investing your money wisely and growing your assets? Right. Be grateful for all things. That's a huge one for me. I think it's a very, very, important that we sit down and that we take a grateful journey in our journals. I told y'all I'm still fucked in. That we take a journey in our journals and be grateful. These are some of the practices that help us to gain wealth, that help us to know who we are, right? So being grateful for all things. Be a leader. Woo-wee. And being a leader of yourself. I was speaking with one of the young ladies that's thinking about becoming a part of our Smart Money Circle, and that's one of her programs, and I hope she brings it to us because it's going to be so fantastic. But being a leader, and one of the things we talked about is being a leader of yourself first, right? Being a leader of your business, because it's your life, your home, and all that. That's a business that you're responsible for, right? Number eight, remove people from your inner circle if you cannot trust them. Make wise decisions in your relationships. Fact check, right? Just because somebody says that they are who they say they are, it's okay. All right, if you say that, but make sure that you fact check so that you're not letting people into your life that should not be there or that can wreak havoc and cause issue. There was a story about, I don't know why I cannot think of her name right now. It was on American Greed, and she talked about Jennifer Lewis. That's who it is. Jennifer Lewis, American Greed. She talked about how she had been conned by a con artist. He checked all the boxes, ladies. He really did. Debonair, charming, credentialed and all of this and everything, real charmer. But, it's always good to have that sister girlfriend that just has your back no matter what. So her friend, as the story goes, went in and did some digging. She kind of smelt something wasn't right. The sniff test, she scratched and felt that something was not right. And he was a career con man. And one of these days, I will share the story of how I believe it was Tyler Perry's Fall from Grace. I think that was the name of the story. Man, do I have to tell you a personal story that mocks a fall from grace. So I totally get it. I understand it. And Jennifer Lewis, I take my hat off to you for being able to open up and share that story. And she said the reason she shared it, one, because she wanted him to be convicted, because he got her out of 50,000, ladies. And then two, she wanted she didn't want him to be out on the loose hurting other women. Wow, amazing, amazing. Again, knowing your worth, and like she said, she knew her worth after the fact. She talked about going back through therapy. She talked about, all of the things that she needed to do to support herself once she found out what happened, because that could be a very, very devastating situation. So again, being wise with all your relationships. Everyone around you should bring value. Okay. So that means that I talk about to my grandson. I tell him all the time, when I go to hug him and he hugs me, I say we're filling up each other's love tank because our love tank can get depleted. And, it's important that we have people around us that bring value. That's huge. I'm telling you, that will make a difference in you succeeding or not in your dreams, endeavors, and even in accumulating your wealth and putting your financial portfolio together. Number 10, focus, remove distractions. Man, and bad relationships can be a huge distraction. Not only a huge distraction, but it also can topple you over and make you have to reset and get back up again. And now you're 3 steps backwards. So you always feel like you're catching up. The other is learn asset diversification. That is huge. I said 11, but I have another one for you, and this is a biggie too. Free yourself of other people's opinion of you. Because what somebody else think about you is really not your concern, right? As long as you are being the person and showing up in the world as who you want to be, what somebody else thinks of you really is not your business, right? Not my business. I'm getting a little scratchy here. But it's really not our concern. So if we really pay attention, see, and oftentimes, and what I've said too is that, I wish I was poured into, as I was growing up. But it's some of these specific things that I wish I had privilege to, so that I could have made some wiser decisions as I was growing up, as I was navigating through relationships, navigating through money. Wasn't that my big mouth didn't ask because I was asking for help. How do I, take money and make more money from it without depleting the initial principle? I didn't even understand what I was asking, but I just knew there had to be a better way. So I hope that list and the calculator was helpful today, because it was just some things that really I've been thinking about. What can I do to even bring more value to our audience and also to our Smart Money Circle, which, by the way, is growing, growing, growing. So anyhow, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share this information with somebody else, and I promise I'll be back with my old perky self as soon as I can get rid of this, whatever it is. But I'm on my herbs, y'all. Make sure that you're taking your immune herbs, because if you're anywhere cold, man, oh man, I tell you, the winter weather, the fall weather can really wreak havoc on us. Alrighty, don't forget to listen, learn, and leverage the information. Bye for now. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Share this information with somebody else. And y'all stay fearless. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.